On today's episode of the Luke Loses podcast, Digging My Grave with a Spoon, I talk about the scary health risk of being obese. I hope you enjoy it. What's up, losers? I am Luke, and this is Luke Loses. Now, at Luke Loses, being a loser, that's a good thing, because we're losing the weight, we're losing the unhealthy lifestyle, and we're losing that negative image we have for ourselves. Please remember that I have no fitness or nutrition education. Everything I talk about is from asking questions, searching the internet, and my own personal experiences. Check out my website, www.lukelosespodcast.com. That's got my social media as well as other platforms you can listen to this podcast. Or you can listen to the podcast right there on the website. You can also call the loser line, 323-920-LUKE or 5853. You can call that number, send it a text, leave topic ideas, tips, concerns, whatever's on your mind. Hit that number up and I will try to address it on a future episode. Also, if you could, go over to Apple Podcast and leave me a rating and a review. I would appreciate it so much. And you don't even have to have Apple products. You can sign up with your email. Or if you could leave me a review on whatever platform you're listening to it on, if it allows you to. If you go over to my Facebook or my Instagram, I am doing a giveaway for a Luke Loses Podcast coffee mug. All you have to do is like, follow, and comment on the post, and you will be entered to win a free coffee cup. And that is going until, I believe, the 24th. So check that out and get entered to win a free coffee cup. The music that you're hearing right now is by Jake Simmons and the Little Ghosts. Check them out. I will link all their locations in the description of this episode. Go give them a follow. Hit them up on bandcamp.com. You can buy all their albums, including vinyl. Now, for this episode, Digging My Grave with a Spoon, I want to talk about the health risks that come along with obesity and morbidly obese. I want my listeners to hear it. It's important to hear it, but it is for me. This episode is really for me because I have been screwing up lately. I haven't been going to the gym, and I have been eating good up until about 8 o'clock at night. And when 8 o'clock hits, I get hungry and I just continue to eat, and I don't count those calories. I screw everything up from the day. I keep telling myself tomorrow I will do better. Tomorrow I am going to get back on it. Come on, this is the Luke Loses podcast. I'm here to lose weight. I'm here to get healthy. I'm here to live a better life. And I've been screwing up. So this episode is for my listeners, but I'm hoping it's a wake-up call for me as well. Let's just jump right into it. I'm going to go over some things that we probably already know, and I hope to talk about some things that we don't know. A lot of it is going to be just straight off the internet. I will post a lot of the places that I found this stuff in the show notes of this episode. The first thing that I am going to touch on is obesity is the second leading cause of preventable death, next to tobacco. There are over 300,000 deaths a year that are directly related to obesity. So the average death of a person is 72.6 years old. That's what they're saying. The average death rate is 72 years old. And I feel like that's really young. If you're overweight, if you're morbidly obese or overweight, they say if you've got a BMI of 40 or more, you are morbidly obese. So if you are 5'9" and you weigh 203 pounds or more, you are in the obese category. And that's 30 BMI. So at 40, I don't have that number here. I found it, but I lost it. If you are 203 pounds at 5'9", you are 30 BMI, and you're in the obese category. People that are 40 have a 40 BMI. It can cut down their life, men by 20 years, and a woman by 5 years. Now, the BMI, the chart, all that, I think a lot of it is bullshit. You know, they say at 5'9" for normal weight, you should be 125 to 168 pounds. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's way too little. But I'm also not a doctor, and I've always been overweight. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if there is a person. I might Google celebrities that are that and see what it looks like. I'm going to go into this a little bit. This is one thing that I did find. As we gain weight, we also get fat around our organs, which will slow down our digestive process and also our metabolic rate. What that does is it creates a circle of weight gain. So if you digest slower, you gain weight faster. If your metabolism slows down, you gain weight. So that is just something to keep in mind as we're getting bigger. And for me, I've always thought, like, why, if I'm eating the same thing that I've always been eating and I'm not moving any less, I'm living the same life, why am I getting bigger? And that's a part of it. It didn't help that I was eating a ridiculous amount of calories too, but it was easier for me to gain weight because of the fact of the fat around my organs that slowed down my digesting and my metabolism. So now I'm going to talk about some of the diseases and different things that can happen to us if we are obese. And they say obesity is when your body weight is above normal, which can result in a lot of damages. So people who are severely obese are more likely to have diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, sleep apnea, and many more. Combined with obesity, these diseases may lead to death. This is the part that I referred to earlier in the episode where I said we'll probably know most of it, but it's also the part where it's going to be a wake-up call for me. I'm going to talk about these diseases and go into depth what they are. We'll probably already know most of it, but I need to hear it. I think it might kick my butt into gear. So obesity is a major cause for type 2 diabetes. Diabetes occurs when blood sugar is too high for your body to manage. And people who are obese and morbidly obese are 10 times more likely to have high blood sugar. Type 2 diabetes can nearly double the risk of death. And type 2 diabetes can lead to a whole bunch of other things like amputations. My dad actually lost his leg. He had diabetes. He had a sore on his foot. It turned into gangrene, and they just kept chopping at his heel till eventually they had to cut off right below the knee. So amputations, heart disease, stroke, diabetes can cause blindness, kidney disease, nerve damage or numbness, hard to heal infections, that's like with my dad's foot, and many other things. Obesity can cause hypertension or high blood pressure, and that's something that I deal with. I take medicine for my high blood pressure, and it is the major cause for high blood pressure. About 3 out of 4 patients with high blood pressure have obesity. High blood pressure increases the risk of other diseases such as heart disease, congestive heart failure, stroke, kidney disease, and so on and so forth. And talking about the high blood pressure and the diabetes and all that, before I started to work on my weight and my health, I went to the doctor and they said, when you have a stroke, when you have a heart attack, this is what will need to be done. They didn't tell me if. They didn't say if it were to happen, it might happen, it could happen. They said when you have a heart attack or when you have a stroke. And I was heading for that. They knew if there was no change, I was going to have a heart attack or stroke soon. Obesity can lead to heart disease, and heart disease kills about 600,000 people every year in the United States. The American Heart Association considers obesity a major cause of heart disease. And people that have heart disease are at a higher risk of heart attacks. And that's actually how my dad died. He had a heart attack one night getting into bed. And they said it was a massive heart attack. But he had stents put in, he had open heart surgery, tons of stuff because of his health. He didn't take care of himself. He was a smoker, and he didn't take care of himself, which it's crazy that I'm doing this episode talking about this. I'm recording on Father's Day, so happy late Father's Day to all my listeners out there. Obesity also causes respiratory disorders. People with obesity have reduced breath capacity. They're unable to breathe in as much air, and these people are at higher risk for lung infections, asthma, other respiratory disorders, sleep apnea. Asthma has been shown to be 3 to 4 times more common among people who are obese. More than half of these affected by obesity, around 60%, have sleep apnea. So if you don't know what sleep apnea is, it is a very serious breathing disorder that occurs when extra fat in the neck and throat and tongue block your air passageways during your sleep. So you actually stop breathing in your sleep. Sleep apnea isn't just for people who are overweight. I know smaller people, not skinny people, but they're not fat, who have sleep apnea as well. This one here kind of blew my mind a little bit. I wasn't aware of this until I started doing the research, but cancer. Cancer affects more than 500,000 lives per year in the United States alone. Obesity is believed to cause up to 90,000 cancer deaths each year. As your BMI increases, so does your risk for cancer and death from cancer. There's a list of different cancers you can get. Ovarian, postmenopausal breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, gallbladder, liver, kidney, thyroid, prostate, leukemia, tons of different lists. There's like 15, 20 of them on here. And it also says that people who are severely obese, it increases the death rate for all types of cancer. So your chance of dying from it is much higher. It says that if you are morbidly obese or severely obese, the death rate is 52% higher for men and 62% higher for women. Strokes are on this list. Obesity puts strain on your whole circular system, which carries blood through your body. This strain increases your risk for stroke and vessel damage in the brain. Obesity can lead to other stroke risk factors, including heart disease, hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, and sleep apnea. I didn't know that. Reading that, actually, I was kind of like, wow, I didn't know sleep apnea could cause you to have a stroke. Bone and joint damage, joint disease, disc herniation, spinal disorders, back pain, other conditions, Alzheimer's. Studies find that obesity during middle ages may contribute to conditions that increase the risk for diseases that affect your memory and ability to think clearly. Kidney disease, liver disease, pancreatitis, and more. Another thing that I found on a lot of these articles that I was looking at, it says that obesity is associated with poor mental health. I believe that because for me, I don't think I'm a bad person because I'm fat. My anxiety and my depression all come from worrying about what people think of me because I'm so fat and I feel like I'm disgusting and I hate it. So it's definitely something to consider that obesity, contributes to your mental health. So for us that are obese and morbidly obese, I've said that so many times in this episode, it's probably getting annoying and you're like, why do you say it again? I don't know. Sorry. That's something I'm thinking of. Again, going back to the mental health, worried about what you guys think. I don't want you to freak out on me because I'm saying it so much, but it says that if we make the changes, if we do these little changes, start eating better, and we get a little bit of exercise in, an average of 32 to 40% better life is what we can have by making these changes to live a healthier lifestyle. So that's something there that's amazing to think about. If I make these changes now, my life can improve by 40%. Oh man, that's huge. So just think of that. Try to remember that. And I'm talking to myself right now, trying to think about 40% better. That's 40% better time with my kids, 40% better time with my wife. Just 40% better. If for nothing, do it because of that. Even if you have a great life, 40% better. Wow. Do it for that. I am on a website right now, 25 surprising things that happen when you lose weight. I probably won't read all 25, but I'll go through some of them. The first one is you'll need a cardigan. As you lose weight, thyroid hormone levels can dip, which can make you feel chilly more often, which I'm looking forward to that because I'm always hot. I'm constantly sweating, so I'm excited about that. Number 2, you will have fewer allergies. Being overweight can sometimes put strain on the adrenal glands and respiratory system. Now that you are thinner, you may be able to ditch your inhaler and cut back on the seasonal pill popping. So that's awesome. You will need a new morning routine. When you have fat loss from your thighs and belly, your face is slimmed down too. In theory, this sounds like a good thing, but having some fat under your skin can hide the appearance of these fine lines and sagging. So I don't know. I have noticed like crow's feet up by my eyes. I didn't notice that before. Maybe I just wasn't looking because I didn't like when I was looking at myself in the mirror. But I have noticed it more now. Your food will taste better. It says it's strange but true. After losing the weight, your dinner may taste even better than before. Stanford University discovered that overweight men had less taste sensitivity than their slimmer counterparts. The reason their taste buds had become dulled from overuse. Wow, that's interesting. This one, you'll be in the mood. Nope, it's not just your imagination. As your BMI dips, you'll be more easily aroused, and it's all thanks to rising testosterone level. Number 6. Wow, we're getting into this, guys. Sex will be more satisfying. Wow. If you thought sex was awesome before, wait until you get it on in your new leaner body. Duke University Medical Center survey of 1,210 people of various weights. Obese people were 25% more likely to report dissatisfaction with their time between the sheets than their leaner counterparts. Wow. 10% loss of body weight has shown to skyrocket sexual satisfaction. That's great. You won't know what to wear. That's one thing, man. Losing this weight, I love shopping. I go to Kohl's, not a sponsor, but that would be cool, right? No, Kohl's is amazing. I go there and I can actually fit into some other clothes now. And I know us in the Midwest, we've got Meijer here. I don't believe that's all over, but I was never able to fit into their clothes until recently. So I just bought a shirt last week, wore it today. I thought I looked phenomenal. My wife said I looked handsome. If you lost 20 pounds or more, new clothing is a must. On here it says that you may stop snoring, and my wife, I'm sure, would love to hear that. It says, see a Snorzilla. Sleep apnea and snoring, which are often caused by excess weight around your neck, can vanish with weight loss of just 5%. So that's awesome. This one here it's a given, but it's something I really like. The kids will eat healthier. And I've talked about it before that I have done so many bad things for my kids by, let's just get some fast food. Let's just pop in a frozen pizza or pizza rolls, or here's junk food. And I still do that. And I try to cut back. I get lazy in the mornings when I was getting them ready for school and would stop and buy a donut. And that would be like 2 times a week, which that's ridiculous. I have been working on it, and we have been doing better meals and stuff. So that is great that I'm not passing along my unhealthy habits for them. You may need to resize your ring. That's one thing I had to do. I actually got married and my ring fit. A couple months later, I had to take it off. I didn't wear it for 8 months, something like that. I lost some weight. My ring fits again. I love it. This one here says you may need new shoes too. That's crazy. The same logic goes for your feet. As your hands will shrink. It says your feet might shrink as well. You may lose your sweet tooth. That's crazy. After months of eating clean and seeing how amazing you look as a result, Oreos and Twix may no longer sing your siren song. I guess that's good. You'll save on your prescription medications. And that's something for me. I take the high blood pressure medicine. I take anxiety medicine. I take like 5 or 6 pills a day. I may not be able to shake the high blood pressure completely, but I know it has gotten better over time before when I lose the weight. And the number 25 thing that's on this list of what will improve when you lose weight, a leaner you equals a longer life. But hey, you probably already know that. So that's awesome. So I'm going to end it right here. And this episode is kind of sad. It's kind of depressing and not happy and upbeat. But obesity and unhealthy things aren't always upbeat and happy, right? So I wanted to do this episode because for those that don't know certain things, I learned some things on here, but for those that don't know certain things that your weight can affect and your weight loss can affect, I wanted to put it out there. And like I said, I want to be kicked into gear again because I stopped losing weight fast and I got really upset about it. And I think that plays a big role into my eating. So like I said in the beginning, 8 o'clock rolls around and I start to eat like crazy. So I need to get busy again. I need to get back into my hobbies and keep my mind out of the refrigerator. And I think this episode really helped because seeing those things again, like I said, what the doctor told me when I have a stroke or when I have a heart attack, I am going to die. I'm going to die early. And I don't want to die yet. I'm not ready to die. I have a lot of life to live. And if I don't lock this shit up, my life's going to be cut way too short. So that is that. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. Like I said, I will post all the stuff in the description of this episode, all the links that I used. And if you could share this podcast, share this episode with somebody that you feel could use it, someone that you feel could benefit from the things that I talked about here. Don't forget to check out my Instagram and my Facebook for that coffee mug giveaway. That is over this week, so you still have time to get in on that to win a free coffee mug. The music that we're hearing is by none other than Jake Simmons and the Little Ghost. Check them out. If you like this song, you'll love the rest of their music. Don't forget to check out my website, www.lukelosespodcast.com. As always, stay positive, do the work, trust the process, and I will see you next week.